Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Floyo, Michael Bullock, and Dee Dee Woodson. And guys, we're just gonna dive right on in. Uh, we started it off earlier tonight with a promo segment by Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. Solid, good. I don't think there's really a lot to talk about because we got a lot to get into tonight, guys. So I'm not gonna waste too much time on this. Anthony Florio, if you want to talk about it, let's go right ahead very quickly.
Um, no, the promos in this rivalry have been excellent, but this might have been the best work yet. KO's calm, dangerous tone translated so well, even if it is hard to imagine him beating the tribal chief. He is clearly willing to take this fight to a level he has rarely gone. From the family drama to the frequent mind games, this rivalry has slowly but surely risen to similar heights as Roman Reigns' battles with Jey Uso. It has been wonderful to watch Owens regain his fire while finding a different but still memorable chemistry with the tribal chief. This was the only sell for WWE TLC Smackdown needed. The stage is set for a motivated Owens to do anything to overcome the odds and truly overcome Roman Reigns. So, MF, you're in for something damn special come Sunday night. So I don't know. Um, just give it to Bullock or.
Yeah, you can go. Go ahead, Bullock. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this was definitely a good way to start it off, and this rivalry continues to get personal, and yeah, I mean, Kevin Owens is going to try to overcome everything to overcome the tribal chief, and especially with what Jey Uso is also throwing. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens at TLC, but this will definitely be something I'm definitely going to want to keep an eye on here. So there's really nothing more to say. Dee Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, this was a good storyline progression, promo between the guys, and it also ended up being the main focus, I think, for most of the night, because even the backstage segments you saw a lot of going on with these guys. So yeah, I mean, this definitely storyline building, definitely pay per view building, very good uh, opening to the show, and very good on them, continuing it all through the show, so that you're not forgetting that this is SmackDown's biggest match that they have on the card. So, not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
All right, and we do move on along with the first fight of the night. The Street Profits put the SmackDown Tag Team titles on the line against Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, the winners of the bout, in 11 minutes and 48 seconds. And still, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits. However, very interesting as basically Robert Roode tried to cheat, grab Montez Ford's tights, but then Ford reverses it, grabbing his tights for the 1, 2, 3, and boy, did we have a stink. Charles Robinson in the center of a rager, and sure enough, um, he went off. Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler went off on him. He went off on them. He threatened suspension, which, first off, he's got no right to do whatsoever. He has no right to even talk about suspension. You're just a lowly referee. Adam Pearce has the final say on any executive decisions, little Nate. So get in line on that. Two, Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, MF beat me to the punch, but we'll address that elephant in the room in just a moment. Let's get into my thoughts on the match. This was a good 3 to 3.25 star match. This was consistent, solid wrestling, but the contest felt too similar to past matches between these teams. The talent in this match is too good to be going through the same motions each time. These teams have a great one in them, but it will take some fresh ideas. Given Ziggler and Rude lost again, this feud should not last too much longer. However, the cheap victory should give them one more shot. Hopefully, that will be the moment that these two teams will bring their absolute pulling the tights and getting the win. Oh, if we were doing commentary, myself and MF and or Bullock, I mean, oh, I would have gone Jesse mode on this one. You know, I would have gone Jesse mode on this one. No doubt about it. And MF would have, MF, I think we would have brought out one of our all-time favorite moments. You're going to call that a clean win, I suppose. You know I would have.
After the tactics that Ziggler and Roode tried to do in this match, absolutely.
Of course. So that's the bit we would have done. So but anyways, 3-star match, maybe 3.25, but I think it's more 3 because there was a pulling of the tights and getting the win. But what happened after the match though? I mean, Michael Bullock and I, we had our SmackDown chat as we always do, our legendary SmackDown chats like we've been doing, and when we saw this, I mean, we couldn't believe it. I mean, we were going crazy, especially me, because it's not often we see Charlie Robb, go crazy like he did, and you got to go all the way back to SummerSlam 2015 when he went off on that timekeeper during the Brock Lesnar Undertaker match. That controversial finish. You don't do that. You don't ring the bell. You ring the bell when I tell you to ring it. You remember that's what he said, but I think this was even more intense than that one. So, man, we couldn't believe it. So, but we'll have to wait and see how this goes. I mean, there's clearly more than this that meets the eye, and we'll have to wait and see if it amounts to anything, rather, come Sunday night. But for right now, it's a 3-star match for me. So, Michael Bullock, our boy, Charlie Robb, on our SmackDown chat, we were going nuts over this.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. I mean, where did this come from with Charlie Robb? I mean, I guess this is Charles Robinson's way of that he wasn't going to take crap from anybody, even if it's someone from the likes of Roode and Ziggler. It's basically his way of saying, hey, I didn't see it, and it's my call, and I'm sticking to it. And if you don't like it, and if you try to lay your hands on me, yeah, you're going to be in big trouble, and a suspension would be necessary as far as I'm concerned. But
he is the senior official after all. He is the senior referee of SmackDown after all.
And let's not forget another thing, Florio, and you heard me say this on the SmackDown chat. With as the old saying goes, what goes around comes around. Roode and Ziggler want to cheat. I think the Street Profits were saying, hey, you guys want to play dirty? Well, we got no problems playing dirty too. So, and if anybody's got a problem with it, well, So, 3 stars on the match. So there's really nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, I know the Street Profits are getting criticized for it, but me, Roode and Ziggler asked for it.
Yeah, they did ask for it. I mean, they did exactly the same thing. They tried to cheat by pulling on the tights. So turnabout's fair play. Referee's decision is final. You don't go and get in the referee's face and argue about it because you're not going to get anywhere. So yeah, if he wants to bring up a suspension thing, he has all rights to at least say it, because he can go to the bosses and say, hey, look, this is what's going on, whatever. But he's not going to sit here, and he's not going to sit here and take this crap from 2 guys that's all they're known for doing, is finding the cheapest way of winning. So hey, I think Charles was justified in it, and it shut the guys up, and that's all that matters, is they shut up and they got out of his face, and we got to move on with the show. So yeah, definitely 3-star fight though. So nothing else I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, absolutely. 3-star match. This was incredible. This was a war. and this was as good as you could have expected. Great tag team match, great psychology, great storyline. The thing at the end was really interesting. Maybe that's just, maybe heat of the moment, showing a little fire, showing a little passion, whatever you want to say. I actually didn't mind it. I thought that was a really good way to close the show. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was what a match. And then for Charlie Robinson to get into it with Ziggler and Rude, and I know Anthony and Mike Bullock were talking about it, and I even said it on the thing. I didn't see nothing wrong. There was just emotions running high. Guys were blowing up. Okay, that's fine. You can have that sometimes. Trust me, I've seen. Have you ever seen the incident between the Mets manager? Who was the guy's name? And the
Bobby
Valentine?
No, not Bobby Valentine. Anthony knows this really well. The NLCS. It was Dodgers and Mets. This was after the Utley incident that happened where Noah Syndergaard the next game got thrown out for throwing at Chase Utley. Terry Collins. There you go. And there was a profanity-laced tirade between the two men. And it was between the umpire and Terry Collins. And boy, it exploded. Like, if you got the raw video and YouTube has it, take a look at that. That was similar to Ziggler, Rude, and Charlie Robinson tonight. Minus the expletives, minus the F-bombs and whatnot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But you got the feel for it. Sometimes umpires and managers kind of get into it. Sometimes players and referees get into it. That happens. That's the way of sport. That's the part of life. Sometimes we're not going to be happy with everything that happens. So
don't forget Earl Hebner. You remember back in the day when a lot of superstars would get an Earl Hebner?
Yeah, Hebner had a few scrapes with some wrestlers in his game.
Not just Earl. Don't forget Dave. Dave Hebner as well.
Yeah.
He never took stuff from anybody.
No, so I get it. Here's the thing. Ziggler and Rude feel like they got robbed. I mean, okay, in the grand scheme of things, yeah. There was a handful of tights. Montez Ford cheated. You got a legitimate argument. That definitely has that happened. You can't say that we saw it clear as day. Handful of tights. There's no argument. They did cheat, but you did it yourselves. You try to weasel your way into the tag team titles. Two wrongs don't make a right here. And for them to go after Charlie Robinson, within reason, within range, they had every right to go after him. They had every right to complain. They had every right to attack. But they only went after him verbally. They never physically touched him or assaulted him. That's why I don't think this is much to do about nothing. There isn't enough for them to escalate. Now, if they wanted it to throw maybe a fine at them, okay, I could see that. Maybe an undisclosed fine could happen for arguing a decision. I get that. But as far as Charlie Robinson threatening suspension, that was beyond wrong. That's out of his jurisdiction. He has no right to do that. And I know that could be a storyline in itself, but that I would have made a bigger stink about more than anything else. Last time I checked, a referee cannot suspend a wrestler. It has to come from upper management. And I don't give a damn that he's the senior official either, Michael Bullock. That doesn't mean crap to me. So I'm just saying, I guess you could say, as a wrestling fan and as somebody who knows how the game goes, that's all I'm just gonna say. So really nothing more to add. So we're just gonna move right on along. So next up, guys, after all that, we had was, well, I could throw this one out. Tamina and Billy Kay versus the Riot Squad. Riot Squad wins the match in 2 minutes and 49 seconds. Next up, we had was the Carmella and Sasha Banks promo. After that, we had Otis and Shinsuke Nakamura, and Otis beats Nakamura in under 3 minutes. So we'll bypass that. Then we had Sami Zayn. It looks like he actually had himself a situation with Big E. Anthony, you know what that means. Possibly Big E will be the next in line for the Intercontinental title. Then we had, oh, we gotta get into this. Bianca Belair versus Bayley one-on-one. Bayley wins the match in 10 minutes and 11 seconds. Now, you can make an argument that, Bayley did poke the hand in the eye of Bianca. That blinded her momentarily, but it landed her into what they call the rose plant, that little arm over the head, drive her to the ground. Mike Bullock, the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion in history, got one over on the EST of WWE. Bayley beats Bianca here tonight.
Well, I guess you could say, Fletch, that maybe Bayley saying I'm the EST of WWE after being Bianca Belair. So I'm going to give this about maybe 2.5 stars. I could have given it a little higher, but that little bit of chicanery, I think, took a little bit away from the match. I mean, it was still a good match. It's just that little bit of chicanery from Bayley, I think, to me, took a little bit away. So, yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, this was a good match. Yeah, there was a lot of heat also going into this thing because they're basically trying to one up each other. I can agree with the rating. It was a very good match though, but yeah, the one-upmanship here on which one's better. Plus, I like the fact that we do have one of the newer talents that has been moved up in the main event picture here. I mean, that's that's changing things up a little bit. That's SmackDown doing what they do best, which is the land of opportunity. Let's give everybody a chance. And it was good to see something a little different, a little fresher, and this definitely was one of those matches. Yeah, and there's the same, a lot of the same stuff going on where that Bayley tries to do something cheap, and in this case, it did pay off for her. But still, it was still a good match. They did a great job. And these two, I could see these guys having another match or two. To see who's the better of the two. So yeah, not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, this was, like I said, this was a solid battle. This was a very good fight. This was a very good war. At the end of the day, Bayley gets a big win. Obviously, that strokes her ego a little bit more. But, this is not the end of the rivalry. I don't think that this is the end of the battle. Not at all. So, we'll see how this plays out soon enough. Really nothing more to add. So, Anthony Florio, I agree. 3 stars. Solid match.
3 stars, solid match. And I want to address Bayley's finishing move. Did you notice that finishing move she used? Before, before she came to WWE, she used to work under another gimmick under the name of Davina Rose. And I don't know if MF might know about that because I know how much he loves the independent stuff. Did you remember seeing Bailey as Davina Rose, MF? Or are you just
No,
hearing about it?
I never saw her in the independent as Davina Rose, but I have heard about her being that before. Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to address that. But 3-star match. This was a fantastic spot for Belair, and she delivered. This was a good main event, wrestling match when it comes to main events. Not the main event. We'll get into that in a minute. Where the two women clicked from the outset. A few late awkward spots kept this from truly shining. But the first outing hinted that Bayley and Belair have a potential classic in them. While it extends the feud, booking Belair to lose at this time made no sense. Bayley had lost matches for months on end, and the EST was undefeated in singles action on Friday Night SmackDown. It is typical WWE to go with the easy 50-50 booking rather than the best option for the story. So, honestly, I felt Bianca should have won this match, but, it is what it is. So, but I still believe, even with this loss tonight, I still believe in my heart of hearts that sometime in 2021, I truly believe Bianca Belair will be a SmackDown Women's Champion. No doubt about it. So, 3 stars, co-fight of the night, along with the tag team title fight. So, not much more to say. Let's get into what ended up being a very heated and a very wild and chaotic main event segment, MF. Oh, boy.
Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns went at it again, and this time there was tables, there were ladders, there were chairs involved in this one, and at the end of it, it was poor Kevin Owens getting buried under tables, ladders, and chairs, and Roman Reigns beating the living daylights out of him. Dee Woodson, that was absolutely tough to watch, to say the very least. But my God, you want to talk about putting the gasoline to the fire on this rivalry? Without a doubt, this is the must-see match on Sunday night.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is definitely the must-see match. This was definitely one of the better segments, and like I said, these guys, we kind of had this continuing the whole night. I mean, they started off the show with these guys. You had Jey Uso try and take out Kevin Owens throughout the whole night, in backstage segments, and then finally it comes down to this, where they just bury him with the chairs and everything, and still in the end, there you have Kevin Owens there with the mic. You guys didn't finish the job. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to, he's going to go out there and he's going to give it his all, no matter what happens. He's not giving up. He's not going to show any fear, any backing down to the big dog. So yeah, I mean this was great, and it was definitely I think the whole night this had to be probably the best build on a storyline for a pay-per-view match out of everything on both shows. They did a great job keeping it relevant for the whole night and just making you want more and want to know more of what's going to happen, and seeing at the end Kevin Owens still with the fight in him saying, hey, you haven't finished the job. You're not I'm not giving up. I'm not scared of you. You're just there, and that he plans on in the end probably making it as personal to Roman as Roman has made it now. So yeah, I'm not going to add too much more. Definitely, for me, this was probably one of the best. If you add all of it together, this has to be one of the best segments for SmackDown. So not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
Without a doubt, this was a slam dunk. This was a perfect way to close the show. This was a perfect way to say that this is the end of the end. And yeah, this was amazing. I really got nothing more to add. This is as good as you could have done it. I enjoyed it. I really, really, really enjoyed this storyline. Nothing more to add. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say? I mean, the intensity of this whole thing. I mean, this is a 3 match show. This is a 3 match TLC pay per view. There are 3 matches on this card that all have potential to be something really special, and this is one of them. Perhaps this one has the potential to be the most special of the 3. We'll let you know what the other 2 are when we get to our preview in a minute. But yeah, I mean, Roman, he's kicked it up a notch. Jey Uso's kicked it up a notch, but Kevin Owens, though, what can you say about him? I mean, he just brings this fight each and every week, and could they do the unthinkable? Could KO actually win the Universal Championship? Very likely not, but but he's just going to prove he's not going to lay down for the tribal chief. Oh no, he's going to bring the fight, and that's all there is to say on that. So, it's basically what we saw earlier in the night. So, but I do have a small nitpick though, minuscule nitpick. Even as great as the segment was, and it was an unnecessary use of the remaining time on SmackDown. It would have been more impactful for KO to limp out on Sunday after the beating he took. But this was overkill. And despite Adam Pearce supposedly wanting to protect his main event for SmackDown, no one came to save the day. The idea is that Owens is resilient beyond measure due to all the horrible things Reigns has said to his family. However, this now sets the stage for a match at TLC where Owens has to work the entire time hurt, yet stay in the fight the whole time with Jey Uso involved. The odds are stacked so high that it just feels too incredulous to believe that KO has any chance, albeit let alone a puncher's chance. But this is professional wrestling, but the overwhelming singular booking for KO is trying too hard. But other than that little nitpick I had, the segment was fine, but, they could have added some time to the Bayley and Bianca stuff. They could have given that match some more time to shine, but, it is what it is. So, but with all that, nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, I mean, what do you make of all this?
Yeah, I mean, this really adds to this rivalry. I mean, especially now with what Roman and Jay did, where they basically literally buried KO in all those chairs and tables and ladders. So yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens at TLC when these two finally go at it. So yeah, there's really nothing more to add to it. So let's move on, Fletch.
All right, we're just gonna give a quick little overall review on this, and then we're just gonna set right into the TLC pay per view. This was a good show. This was solid. Obviously, there was 2 matches that kind of didn't really do much for us. However, overall, the production, everything that was accounted to, and just the mere fact of what they had centered on this night, this was excellent. 7 to 7.5 for me. This was a very good SmackDown Live, a perfect go home show. I mean, I think as far as it goes, you had Bayley and Bianca Belair. They really shined. The tag team match really shines, which opens the door for maybe a rematch. But tonight, the stars of this show was Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. They absolutely tore the house down. No doubts about it. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, solid. About 6.5 to 7 for me. Two quality matches on this show: the tag team title match and the women's match with Bianca and Bayley. That segment with Carmella and Sasha, I thought that was a well done segment as well. And some of the other things were rather meh. We had a couple of cutout matches like you would see on Monday Night Raw, and a little bit of some repetitive booking on that, especially in that women's tag match. But in that Sami Zayn segment, I mean, but 6.5 to 7 though. But again, MF nailed it. Roman and Kevin, they were the stars of the show tonight, and if you thought what we've seen over the last few weeks has been good, what do you think the match is going to be like on Sunday night? The match on Sunday night's got a potential to steal the damn show. It does. Along with those other two big matches that like I said, this is a 3-match show. It was a 2-match show going in, but once we got the news, I believe a day or so ago from our own Dee Woodson in our messenger chat, it now became a 3-match show. We'll address that in a moment. So 6.5 to 7 for me. Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, 6.5 to 7 for me. I mean, I thought it was a good show. I mean, you had some quality matches, some quality segments. I mean, there were others that pretty much were meh. So, yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. 6.5 to 7 for me. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I can go with probably about a solid 7. This was definitely a good go home show. They did a great job. They kept it on track. They kept the storyline building going. They definitely built the pay per view up very well, and especially with Owens and Reigns, giving you the I want more" type mentality through it. Yeah, we've had some low points on the show as well, but yeah, I definitely think that this was a very well done and very good go home show. One of the better ones that I've seen. So, not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
All right, guys, so we're just going to dive right on in. Here we go. We are now going to go into the preview for Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. Will be held at the Thunderdome, the new Thunderdome, that's going down this Sunday night from Tampa Bay at Tropicana Field. So, like we said, it is it is, I believe, 5 or 6 matches, but at the end of the night, only one is gonna be coming out. Here we go. And we do start the fight card off. Oh, hold on. Here we go. Now we got it. Alright, the matches. So we're gonna start off on the Raw side, guys, as it will be Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods of the New Day versus the Hurt Business of Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin with MVP. Okay, now, based off what I've been seeing lately, I kind of feel like the New Day is going to win the match because Sheldon is getting way too big for his bridges right about now. Well, not Sheldon. Alexander is getting way too big for his bridges right about now. So for me, I'm going to say it. I think the winners of the bout is going to be the New Day. I think they'll successfully defend the titles. Anthony Flayo, this is your tag team division. What says you?
Yeah. The build to this match has been convoluted with New Day going 2-0-1 in title matches against Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin before the requisite singles victories from Alexander earned the Hurt Business another title shot. The Hurt Business needs the boost to the titles, while New Day, as much as I love them, they're starting to get a little bit boring with the straps on Raw. I'm not sure why the storyline would have run this way if it was not for a change to come at this pay-per-view. And I could absolutely see the title switching here. But MF does make a good point. This is where the seeds they've been planting with Cedric Alexander's selfishness start to pay off. I mean, Alexander tagged himself in as Bobby Lashley was dominating in a 6-man. He has celebrated wildly several times in a way that seemed to upset the rest of the Hurt Business and so on. And who knows, maybe he could make a decision that backfires, allowing the New Day to retain and causing internal issues with the groups. So, you know what? I think I'm going to actually go with MF on this one. I could certainly see the New Day successfully defending. I mean, they are far and away the best tag team in WWE today. I mean, but then again, the Street Profits, I mean, we see what they can do. So So I got to go with the New Day. I mean, I'm still a little uneasy about this because you never know. They could put the belts on the Hurt Business, but only because of what we've seen from Cedric lately. I mean, MF makes a great point, and I'm going to go with that. So the winners and still the Raw Tag Team Champions, your boys, the New Day. Michael Bullock, are we going to make it 3 for 3?
Yes, we're gonna make it 3 for 3. I mean, yeah, like you said, I think the seeds are definitely being planted for some kind of friction with the Hurt Business, especially with Cedric Alexander. Um, after what, and especially what we've seen from him lately, especially this past Monday night when he tagged himself in when Bobby Lashley literally dominated. So yeah, the Hurt Business is going to eventually get sick and tired of it, and who knows where we'll go from here. So yeah, if it weren't for this, I would have said the Hurt Business would be the new Raw Tag Team Champions, but because of the seeds that are being planted with Cedric Alexander, I gotta go with the New Day to retain the titles. So nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I'll agree. I think the New Day will walk away with it. There's just too many um, factors of big head going on in Hurt Business, and a little bit of dissension between a couple of the members. So yeah, not much more I'm going to add. Is yours, Fletch?
All right, next up we have is Sasha Banks going up against Carmella for the SmackDown Women's title on the line. Anthony Florio, you lead off.
WWE is finally giving Sasha Banks a run with a championship, a legitimate run with a championship after her history of being unable to hold on to the title. It's hard to see that ending at the hands of Carmella less than 2 months after Banks won the belt inside Hell in a Cell against Bayley. Carmella has come off strong, though, or through the story, and that's great for the division because SmackDown needs more players at the top of their women's division, but she's not quite ready for another title run, and Sasha's run has not developed enough, and especially after what we've seen tonight and the previous week, it's got to be Sasha. So winner and still the SmackDown Women's Champion, Sasha Banks. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, is it still going to be boss time after Sunday night? I think it will be.
Yeah, I think it's still going to be boss time. Yes, I mean we've seen the last 2 weeks. Last weekend tonight with Carmella getting the best of Sasha Banks. So yeah, they're gonna go with the booking 101 here, and Sasha's gonna retain the title and keep her run going as the champion. So there's really nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Definitely Sasha Banks. So go, Fletch.
Unanimous. Sasha successfully defends the title. Next up we have is the the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler putting the titles on the line against the Raw Women's Champion Asuka and a wrestler to be announced. We do not know who that wrestler is as of now. Actually, I heard something very interesting today. Who it might be. But I'm gonna save myself. Michael Bullock, you lead off on this.
Man, I'm interested to see who it could be after what you just said. So, I mean, could it be somebody we didn't expect? I mean, yeah. We're gonna have to wait and see how it develops. So, you know what? I'm gonna say this.
Should we make a prediction here, guys?
I don't think
Because
so.
we don't know who it is,
I
or
don't think.
yeah, because I kind of feel like because all right, one of the rumors I just heard today, it could be Charlotte Flair.
That's right, because
That's what I've
they're
heard.
still they're still a little. Charlotte's got a bone to pick with Nia Jax.
Not only that, but Charlotte is also part of Monday Night Raw. She was drafted to Raw, so maybe.
Yeah, it could be. We'll find out. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not making a prediction. So
All right. I don't. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna hold you guys to the fire on that either. So this one's an NA for us. No predictions because we just don't know who that other member is gonna be. So we can't necessarily say, oh, this is what's gonna happen. We don't know. So I'm not gonna force the guys on that one. I will force them on this though. This was just announced earlier today. Anthony Floyo dropped it on us. The Firefly Inferno match. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
man, oh man. Well, Fletch. I guess we could say this is definitely not PG.
No.
Yeah, I, I mean, with an Inferno match, you have to set your opponent on fire. I mean, my question is, how the hell is that going to work? I mean, we've seen it with the Undertaker and Kane twice, and I'm trying to remember some other times. I know Kane and Bray Wyatt faced off, but it was a Ring of Fire match.
Well, look, I can help you out with this. I can help you out. Um, you talk about the Undertaker and Kane, of course, the very first one. That was the most legendary of all of them. Taker and Kane, Unforgiven, 1998, Greensboro, North Carolina. Taker won it 15 minutes and 57 seconds. Then Taker and Kane went at it again on an episode of Monday Night Raw, February 22nd of 99, Chattanooga, Tennessee, the UTC Arena. Taker won that in 6 minutes and 45 seconds. And then Triple H and Kane had an Inferno match on an episode of on one of the early episodes of Smackdown, September 23rd of 99 in Dallas. Triple H won that in 3 minutes and 1 second. And then Kane beat MVP 8 minutes and 21 seconds at Armageddon 2006 in Richmond, Virginia. And of course, the most obvious one, the last one we saw, the infamous Ring of Fire match, Bray Wyatt and Kane, SummerSlam 2013, which Bray Wyatt won, but a lot of the reviewers absolutely poo-pooed all over it. Some went as far as to call that match a dud.
Yeah, so this time around, Randy Orton did get the best of. Well, back then it was Bray Wyatt, but this is a different Bray Wyatt. This is the Fiend he's dealing with. So, this is this is a tough one for me to call. Because not only because of that, but after what we saw on Monday night, with the Fiend basically getting the best of Randy Orton. If they go the booking 101, the choice is obviously Randy Orton. But to me, I'm actually going to take a chance, and I'm going to go with the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, to win this Firefly Inferno match. So there's nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it is yours.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Fiend to win this one. Yeah, when I saw the news on it, it just shocked me that they were going to go with this route. But I also see that this could also possibly be another one of their little scenographic type matches. Kind of like we've had already with Bray and John Cena, which is I still don't get that match, but it is what it is. Because I've gone back and I've rewatched it, and I still am very confused on it. It might be my age, I don't know, but I don't get that match. But it's still.
Don't forget the Undertaker and AJ Styles in the Boneyard
that one
match.
Yeah, that one was the better of the cinematic matches, I thought. So, yeah, this one, I see this one could possibly be going that route. And besides, we just saw Orton not long ago set the Fiend on fire. So, we've had a lot of these, yeah, where Wyatt has come out on top, but we've also had a lot of them where Orton has looked really strong as well, even though he hasn't come out on top at the end. And you also still have to think, if Alexa's there, she's supposed to be the Fiend's weakness. So we'll have to see what happens there. This could be another place where they could say that she's got the spirit of Sister Abigail, since that's who he burned in the cabin when Orton set that up on fire. So I'm not going to add too much more. It's yours, Fletch.
You actually took my point right away from me, Dee Dee Woodson, and you just said the key word, Alexa Bliss. You know Randy Orton is sadistic enough, is evil enough that he will use Alexa to get to the Fiend. Let's be realistic. I am an Orton. I got that kind of attitude, that ruthless aggression, don't give you know what about anything, and I will sell anybody out for a victory. If I'm going up against Michael Bullock, sorry, bro, but yeah, I would use your lady friend as bait to lower you into a trap. Anthony, the same way with your lady friend. If I could use her to get to you, you damn right I would use it. And I obviously, if I was going in a battle with Dee Dee's husband Kevin, I would try to use that little leverage of the friendship to get to that. The one weakness for the Fiend is Alexa. He cares about her. He does adore her. And vice versa. And Randy knows that. Because remember what happened on the Firefly Funhouse. Or no, during Alexa Bliss's moment with Bliss, where she had Randy Orton. They were doing the interview. The minute the Fiend came out, remember, Orton hoisted Alexa. He had her in his arms. And the Fiend froze. The Fiend got closer just so that he could get Alexa to safety. If Orton wants to win this match, you threaten to throw Alexa into the fire. You actually would. If you're going to do it, go all the way. Threaten to put her in the fire. You watch that Fiend throw himself in. And that, my friends, is the way Randy Orton wins the Inferno. Because he manipulates a situation to the opportunity. The sick, evil, twisted Orton, the legend killer, rises to the occasion again and outsmarts the Fiend. You can't beat him in a straight up fight. There's no way. This guy's indestructible. There's no person on earth that can beat the Fiend straight up. I don't care who you are. Every time, he loves the torment. He loves pain. He loves to get beaten down because he comes right back up. It's like he's supernatural. The only other person that is similar to that is The Undertaker. What you got to do to beat the Fiend is outsmart him. You got to make him sensible. You got to make him make the mistake. The one thing we've noticed is the one weakness that he does have is Alexa Bliss. Alexa brings something out of the Fiend that I've never seen in my life. So what do? If you want to win a match like that, and I know Orton thinks this way, you gotta exploit Alexa. How do you do it? By any means necessary. Maybe threaten to put her in the fire. Let her burn. Then you see what the Fiend does. That's the only way you win the match. I think Orton will do it. I think he will outsmart the Fiend. The Fiend will get roasted. Get your marshmallows, folks. We're going to have a roasting of a Fiend on Sunday night. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
In the immortal words of the great Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend. Oh, no. Wyatt is on the standard path of facing a rival in a match as himself before the payoff match as the Fiend. Randy Orton was getting the better of the initial match before Wyatt disappeared and was replaced with the Fiend. Then Orton lit a box containing Wyatt on fire only to see the Fiend emerge. Given Wyatt's quote-unquote victories on Raw, Orton would usually get the win at the pay-per-view. But the Fiend is a special attraction, and those rules don't always apply. Additionally, Alexa Bliss has been off screen since Orton threatened her, as proof he found the Fiend's weakness. She was actually just off filming for the new Punky Brewster show. This would be a good spot for her to pop back up, cost Orton the match, and prove that she is not a weakness. I disagree. I'm going with the Fiend. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, wins this match. So, not much more to say. And by the way, this is the first of the 3 must-see matches on this pay-per-view. I said this was a 3-match show. This is one of them. And so are the next 2. So, not much more to say except MF. The next 2 matches are all about the 2 top prizes on our shows. And they're also the namesake of these pay-per-views. Tables and ladders and chairs. Oh, my.
Yes, indeed. And we are going to lead it off with the Universal title on Smackdown. Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. TLC for the Universal title. And who leads off on the... wait. Is it
I believe
me?
Didi does.
Didi. Okay, so Didi, what's in you lead off? Universal title on the line. Who gets the belt?
I think Reigns will still walk away with it. I mean, tonight, we had a good showing from Kevin Owens and everything, but I don't think he's going to walk away with it because there's just too many factors that are leading closer to Reigns. For one, we still have this big storyline that they're still building for WrestleMania with Reigns, where they're going to want him to keep that title for that. I don't see him losing it anytime soon. Plus, he's got Jay in his back pocket. So, yeah, I think Reigns is going to retain. It'll be a really good show. It'll be a must-see match, but I don't think Kevin Owens is going to win it. If he does win it, it would be under a DQ finish where he doesn't get the title. So, it's yours.
Didi, in a TLC, there are no DQs. There's no disqualifications.
True.
There's no countouts.
True.
First man to climb the ladder and grab the belt is the champion. So
That's true.
So, I mean, I get where you're coming from. And with the way that the storyline is going, yes, I do believe Roman will win it because I think Jey Uso is going to sacrifice himself on this one for the Tribal Chief. But Kevin Owens is going to give Roman everything he's got, and it's going to be one heck of a match. So there's really nothing more to add there. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, it's going to be the Tribal Chief here. The simple fact of the matter is that Roman Reigns is the top character and storyline going in WWE right now. It has been an incredible new character that is captivating audiences and making people excited about Friday Night SmackDown. He will lose the title at some point, but it will not be to Kevin Owens at a B pay-per-view. It will likely be at WrestleMania against another current superstar. Of course, the one name I've been throwing around is Big E. Another name that just popped into my mind, maybe the Yes Man, Daniel Bryan. If WWE follows through with the rumored Goldberg match, perhaps Reigns holds the title for even longer than that, maybe almost a calendar year until next August in SummerSlam. Kevin Owens has been revitalized by this feud, but the change we will see in him may be more of a heel turn than Owens becoming the new champion. So, winner and still the Universal Champion, the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, the big dog, Roman Reigns. So, nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, after Sunday, I believe we'll still be acknowledging Roman Reigns as the Tribal Chief.
Yeah, I think we'll still be acknowledging Roman Reigns as the tribal chief and still your Universal Champion. I mean, he's been on a roll since this heel turn, and I just don't see it stopping anytime soon. Kevin Owens will definitely give him all that he can handle, but because uh because of Jey Uso, Roman Reigns is going to still walk out the Universal Champion. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. It's time to get to the WWE title match.
WWE title also on the line in a TLC, as it will be Drew McIntyre putting the title on the line against the phenomenal AJ Styles. This is going to be very interesting because of the fact that I feel like right now, Drew is the best thing going in WWE today. And I do believe when it's all said and done, I believe Drew McIntyre will win the match and, more importantly, successfully defend the WWE title. So I got Drew winning the title. Anthony, it's yours.
Yes. Hands down, the superstar of the year. There's no question about that for me. He already has my vote. And I literally went on the website and I literally voted for Drew McIntyre as my superstar of the year for 2020. I would have said Roman if Drew didn't have the year he had. I would have gone with Roman based on what he's been doing the last several months. But Drew's going to add to it. He's going to cap off the year as only he can. I mean, but don't get me wrong, AJ Styles is a great utility player at this point. You can slot him into any situation and he's a credible threat. But that being said, it's hard to see Drew McIntyre losing the belt before WrestleMania, especially after he already briefly lost the belt to Randy Orton. This should be an excellent match and could set up a Miz Money in the Bank cash-in attempt, which would also likely fail in the interest of keeping Drew McIntyre a strong champion. So there's nothing more to say. The winner of the match and still the WWE champion, my personal vote for WWE Superstar of the Year for 2020, hands down, the Scottish Warrior, Drew McIntyre. Michael Bullock, is there a better way for Drew to cap off this incredible year of his than with another title victory? Or title defense, rather?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I mean, this would definitely be a great way for him to cap off what has been an amazing year for Drew McIntyre. So I agree. Winner and still WWE champion Drew McIntyre. D.D. Woodson, it's yours.
I'm going to make it unanimous, so it's yours, Fletch.
All right, and well, so I know Dee Woodson and Mike Bullock. I know you guys like to leave at this point in the show, so I'll wish you guys a good night, and I will see you guys on Sunday night for the recap of the show. However, there is one more bit of business that needs to be addressed, and that is, well, Anthony alluded to it because we were talking about it. Because, last week I did talk about Triple Mania, and yes, guys, it actually did go down this past Saturday night. It was the Triple Mania from in Mexico City. The event was actually live and exclusive on, if you had Facebook Watch or YouTube. It was a free event. There was no crowd. So let's get into this. So we started it off with a trios tag team match, as it was Poner de Noche, Tito Santana, Carabia, and Marco Costa, as they went up against Diasante, Maximo, and Misty Aguia. And when it was all said and done, Ponte de Norte wins the match. That was a solid opener. Then they had was a triple threat three-way tag team match for the World Tag Team titles. The champions, the Lucha Brothers, Rey Fenix and Pentagon, representing AEW, versus Montez Jr. and Octagon Jr. and Tejano and Rey Ascension. The Lucha Bros successfully defends the AAA World Tag Team Championship. They go home with the belts. Big win for them. Next up on the fight card, we had was the women's battle royale to determine the winner of the Triple Mania Cup. Lady Shanti wins the match. She also competed against Hades, Big Mama, Pipinera Escalata, Mamba, Chick Tormabia, Fabia Pache, and La Hierida was also in the match. So she wins. Lady Shanti wins, and that was a big win for her, because now that puts her in line for a Reyes de Reyes championship match that will happen sometime down the line. Then we had a trios tag team match, as it was the Psycho Circus. It was the Psycho Clown, Murder Clown, and Monster Clown. They went up against Blue Demon Jr., LA Park, and El Hijo del LA Park. The Psycho Circus wins the match. A solid tag team battle on that one. Then we had what they were calling this a Marvel Lucha Libre Edition exhibition match. It was the bad team, or Le Rudos, as we like to call them. It was Terra Panetta and Valendora, and they went up against Arsenal and Atlantica America, which was Le Technicals, or the good guys, the faces. Well, it's time to boo. Los Rudos wins the match on that one. Then we had the big one. This was the big fight. This was the one we were waiting for. La Mega Copion was on the line. The cleaner, Kenny Omega, accompanied to the ring by Michael Nakazawa. He went up against Laredo Kid. He was accompanied by El Hijo de Viking. When it was all said and done, the winner of the bout, and still, or I should do this in Spanish. I'll do this in Spanish for all you guys out there. La ganador de la cita, y still el mega campeón físico completo de AAA, Le Cleaner, Kenny Omega. He successfully defends the title. And then in the main event, hair versus hair, as it was Pagano versus Chessman. Pagano wins the match. He gets to keep his hair. Chessman lost his hair at the end of the match. It was a bloody fight. It was a great match. When it was all said and done, basically Pagano he got his long hair cut, and then they were shaving the head But I don't think they went the full distance, so I don't remember them going all the way with the haircut. He probably will be bald by the next time. The AAA Sim Limite show goes. So we'll find out. Normally that would be the fallout. We'll find out what happens then. But yeah, unbelievable night, unbelievable event. We're done for tonight. Guys, tomorrow is another edition of NFL Saturday. We got really a lot of action to go. Playoff implications, running amok. Really got nothing more to add. So 10:30 Eastern tomorrow night. Thank you, Anthony Flayo. Thank you, Michael Bullock. Thank you, Dee Woodson. Thank you guys as always. So until tomorrow night, this is Michael Fletcher. Hugs and hand pounds. We're out. So long, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
Goodbye.